now recognize the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Jordan, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Gross, do higher prices hurt workers? I noticed in your testimony you said you're married, 4 children. When the price of eggs, bread, milk, gas, when that goes up, does that hurt workers?
Thank you, Congressman. I'm not an economist, but I know the higher prices hurt everyone.
Yeah.
You know, everyone.
Union workers, non-union workers?
Workers, consumers, you know, everyone.
You got less purchasing power, so even if your wages go up, but in real terms, you got less purchasing power, that's gonna hurt. I mean, my dad was a union worker. I appreciate what you do. My dad worked 30 years for General Motors, International Union of Electrical Workers. My mom cleaned houses. When the price of goods and services goes up, it's tough on families. Isn't that true?
I believe that it's tough on everyone, yes.
How about higher taxes? Democrats are getting ready they're going to try to pass a huge spending bill, $3.5 trillion. They're going to have a bunch of tax increases in there. When your taxes go up, not to mention we got inflation at a 40-year high, so the price of everything you purchase as a family is going up. Now they're going to raise your taxes. Is that going to hurt families? Is that going to hurt workers?
Well, to that, I would like to defer to one of the economists.
But I'm just asking in simple terms, if you have to give more of your hard-earned money to the government in the form of taxes, is that going to be tough on families, especially when you couple with it the fact that we're now at a 40-year high inflation rate?
I understand what you're saying, Congressman, but I don't feel comfortable with that because I'm not an expert.
How about COVID lockdowns? Did that hurt workers when the economy was locked down, typically done by Democrat governors, Democrat mayors? Did that hurt families?
Well, again, Congressman, I appreciate your question, but I'm not qualified to answer that.
I think you're very qualified as someone who head of your union and working hard for your family. How about mandates? We got the state of New York, the chairman's home state. The governor announced last night that they're going to fire healthcare workers because they won't comply with the mandate. Same healthcare workers, by the way, who a year ago were heroes for all the hard work they've done over the last year. Do these kind of mandates, do you think those harm workers, Mr. Gross?
I appreciate your confidence in me, Congressman, but I would have to get back to you with a response on that.
I appreciate your answers, Mr. Gross. Ms. Wilson, let me switch subjects. Commissioner Wilson. In your written testimony, Commissioner, near the end, I don't think you said this in your oral testimony, but in your written testimony, you said new agency leadership, reading from, I think, one of the last paragraphs, then you give a bunch of examples. New agency leadership, unfortunately, has made meaningful dialogue among commissioners and between the commission and its stakeholders difficult and then you list a bunch of things: muzzling staff internally and externally, stifling the flow of agency records and information from staff to commission. There's lack of transparency. Given minimal notice to commissioners and the public of sweeping policy change. You go on giving no written explanations of sweeping policy changes until those changes are actually implemented by the Trade Commission. Evading meaningful dialogue at the commission level, voting against notice and comment of all other policy, and on it goes. Tell me about this, if you would, Commissioner. What's going on at the FTC?
Thank you, Congressman. I appreciate the opportunity to address this issue. I have served at the Federal Trade Commission on 3 different occasions. This is my 3rd stint at the FTC, and what has always made the Federal Trade Commission special and powerful is its long bipartisan tradition of collegiality, observing norms and traditions, carrying on a rich dialogue at the commission, but also with stakeholders. And as I enumerated in my written submissions with extensive footnotes to other statements that I've made, this observance of norms and traditions that facilitates bipartisanship and a robust and rich dialogue, not just within the commission, but also with all of our stakeholders. And my cat is coming into the picture. Has taken a huge hit under new leadership. And I'd like to note the distinction here. When Acting Chair Slaughter was serving as the chair of the FTC, she continued to observe the norms and traditions that allowed for a bipartisan discussion. It is only with the arrival of Chair Khan that decades of tradition has been thrown out the window to the detriment of our decision making and consumers.
So this is new. I mean, and we all know, I mean, we function in a body where process matters. Process, impacts policy. If you don't have the right process in place, sometimes you can lead to serious mistakes and serious problems. Should we give the commission more power?
I am very concerned about giving the agency more power under current leadership. A system can only withstand the force that it is designed to channel, and right now I think we are seeing the limits of of the force that we can withstand.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The time of the gentleman has expired. Mr. Gross, just so you're not left with a misimpression, the proposal that's before the Congress will actually cut your taxes because you have 4 children, provide lower costs of health